Welcome back. Today I want to talk a bit about benchmarking your swim, how you can assess your capabilities, and I'm going to give you some ideas, some test sets that you can apply to see where you're at and learn your different swim gears. We're not going to get into training prescription per se. This is just going to be about assessing where you're at. Okay, first thing, let's pull me down. Fast 50s and fast 100s don't show you where you're at. They're way above the intensity, your endurance training range. It's sort of like if you were training for a 10K and all you did was sprints all the time. You'll feel like you're doing a lot of work, but it's not a very useful stimulus. You only need a little bit of that in your program. So if you're wondering why there's a big gap between your fast 50 time and your fast 100 time and what you can actually swim in terms of a long continuous swim, that's why. It's because you're not doing enough of the endurance work. So how are we going to assess your endurance work, and how are you going to assess the right intensity? Well, I'm going to give you a way to do that right now and learn your 5 different gears. And the gears are going to roughly be zone 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in a 5-zone system. Okay, so let's shrink me down, move me up there. The key workout I like to do is 5 by 400 on short rest. Short meaning not more than 15 seconds rest between each 400. So just enough to kind of settle, check the split, and then you get rolling again. And the idea is each 400 is faster than the one before. So you're going to descend this set. And if you do it right and you get a nice descend with each one going a little bit quicker, and the last one is a really strong effort, you'll get a clear view of zone 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for yourself. And as you're going, you can also tune in to your breath markers. And I recommend you do this swim with 3-stroke breathing, with the exception of that last one. Number 5. And if you're not able to do that, then you have a economy limiter with your swimming. And more than trying to swim faster, you need to learn how to swim relaxed and learn how to take a full breath with each breathing cycle. Because what's probably happening is you're panting down the lane and you're giving yourself a stress response. So let's just dig in with a practical example here. This is 1 to 5. My rest was a little bit under 15 seconds on these. It was probably more like 12 or so. My average pace went from 139 per 100 meters down to 125 per 100 meters. And to give you a comparison, if I was going to do a fast 100 set on long rest, I might be able to get down to the low 120s. So that, my 5th gear, a very strong pace for me, zone 5, is 125 pace at the time I did the test, but I could fool myself in the pool down to about a 120 pace for my fast 100s. So there's a disconnect there. And if I was doing fast 50s, I might even be able to get down to 36s, which would be 112 per 100 pace. I'd need a lot of rest for that, and I'd be like thinking, oh, there's like this big gap. Well, there isn't. That's just the way it looks when you're doing short intervals on long rest. This 5 by 400 set will give you a much clearer look. So second gear for me is 135 per 100. And that's going to be a steady effort. I can do that comfortably. I can do long intervals with that. And then my tempo effort's only a little bit quicker. It's going to be about 132 per 100 type pace. Now, if you're used to swimming with long rest, you're going to have the illusion that you can swim quicker than these paces, the second gear pace and the third gear pace. And some work like that is okay because the rest is going to lower the effective intensity of the workout you're giving yourself. But to develop aerobically, you're going to need some long intervals on short rest, some continuous workouts, and I would target those at your second gear, your steady type effort. This is a great type of training, and it's something you're not going to be getting a lot of at most master's programs. You're going to be working that zone 4, zone 5 all the time, and you're not going to be developing yourself aerobically. So Next thing, after you have your 5x400, you want to kind of test your longer stamina. And what I like for that is just what I call a 2K time trial, but it doesn't have to be a best effort time trial. What you can do is you could do, say, 4x500 on really short rests, 5 or 10 seconds rest. And you're going to try and swim 2K continuous, and you're going to aim, start at that second gear, and then maybe if it's feeling good and comfortable, you can go to that third gear pace in the second K. And you can have a look at your ability to hold that pace over time. That's going to give you a look. And then if you're thinking, well, I'd really like to see, you're training for an Olympic distance triathlon or a 70.3, you're kind of curious, well, how much faster would I go if I really went for it, if I did a kind of a best effort? Well, I recommend this pacing strategy here to get the best out of yourself. And it's 100 steady, 400 fast, 100 steady, 400 fast, 100 steady, 300 fast, 100 steady, 200 fast, 100 steady, 200 fast. Now, with the change of speed, you won't actually change all that much, but you'll be changing a little bit. And the change is actually great training for your race, because one of the things that you're going to find when you get out there in the open water is the pace is always changing on you. So the ability to swim fast and deal with these changes in pace is essential for performing in open water. Let me chat you through a couple other variations. If you happen to be an Ironman athlete or an athlete with strong swim stamina, you can do these other modifications, these other variations. So 5x800, descending 1 to 5, each one a little bit quicker. Now, the difference for this workout is I don't like to descend this to max. What I think a better way to do it is you start first gear and just very gradually bring yourself down to third gear or maybe a little bit quicker. It makes a nice endurance session. And usually I'll throw some paddles in for the second and fourth rep just to change it up, get a little bit of different stimulus. But that is a great set to do, kind of see how you perform late in the workout if you have the ability to speed up late. The other one, same idea, 8x500, descend, or maybe even descend in twos. 2 easy, 2 steady, 2 moderately hard, and then try and do 2 fast at the end. That's a fun workout, a challenging workout. And then finally, if you're getting ready for an Ironman race and you're not sure how to pace, or you're like thinking, well, maybe I'll take it out and kind of hold on. This final set is a really good one to do long course, or if you have open water, it's great. It's 5x1000, and you descend the thousands 1 to 4. And there, I would say, easy, steady, moderate, fast. And then on the last one, back off to steady. And then you can compare the paces across all of them, and you can ask yourself, is it worth it? Like, is it worth the effort? And particularly if you have heart rate data, you'll see that steady pace, that comfortable pace, when you crank those heartbeats up to get that fast pace, you're not actually going to buy much speed. And I hope you decide to put those heartbeats into your run, because the run is much more linear. So as you speed up, as you put more intensity into the run, you're going to get more speed out of yourself. And so I recommend you save those heartbeats for later. But if you're not sure, I'm pretty sure that workout will convince you. All right. Now, key thing to remember with these things, you don't need to be maxing out in your swim training. What you do need to be doing is swimming often and becoming much more efficient, much more relaxed with your swimming. That's where the gains are really going to come for you. I'm going to link up all my swim workouts in the comments, and I'm going to remind you not to optimize for test sets. So that 5x400 set, if you do it all the time, you might train yourself to be able to go really fast at the end. But remember, a fast 400 at the end of a test set might not be linked to whatever your goal happens to be, particularly if you're a triathlete. So where I like to focus is what's happening in second and third gear. What's happening there? Because that is an effort and a pace that is very applicable to your racing. How is your aerobic development coming along? And in terms of where to focus with your program, what to track with your program, I recommend you track the number of times you swim a month. Just how many times do you touch the water? You're going to find that you swim better the more times you touch the water. It's a skill sport, and it's very technique intensive, and so you got to be touching the water. The other thing I recommend you track is your weekly distance. So number of times you touch the water in a month, what's the weekly distance? And you'll find that if you're getting the distance consistently, you're touching the water consistently, then you're going to be all right. You're going to be making your gains. And if you want to make more gains, then touch the water more often and get some more distance in there. That's going to work much better for you than infrequently smashing yourself and just doing a lot of hard work. It needs to be consistent work over time and building that relaxation. Second gear, third gear, where the action's at. Thanks. I hope this helps you.